What's happening, guys? It is Chris from GLL. I am back. I am back after 7 years, 7 long years on the back end of 6 different businesses, eclipsing over $200 million in revenue. And I'm also back after 10 or 14-day hiatus. I was in Las Vegas with Happy HIPPO last week. Our 2-year-old has been sick. My wife has had some first trimester pregnancy complications. And I've been slammed with tax stuff and catching up on emails, knocking out meetings since I have been back. The thing about being president of Animal Farm, where 2 of the companies have over 40 employees each, so not like huge, like 1,000 employees with executives and a full C-suite. I'm pretty much the only person still to this day who knows how like everything works. So that often puts me in a reactive role. I knew this kind of stuff would come up that affected the publishing schedule, so bear with me. I really had to do a dedicated video for this, and I mentioned this in my last video, and there was a comment on the YouTube community tab. And it's not like I'm going to show bank statements or tax returns, so I really have to milk this. And more importantly, I am super proud of this. It's really shown how far we've gotten. So, did mention this last week. Our signature product, Gorilla Mode, became the #3 best-selling pre-workout in the world, at least according to Amazon. And that is crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy to me. We don't know quite how Amazon creates this list of bestsellers. I imagine it is a combination of factors like most sales in the past 30 or 90 days, most legitimate 5-star ratings within that period, most recurring sales in that period. We don't really know. Only Amazon really knows. But what I can say, though, is we have one of the best-selling pre-workouts in the entire world. Gorilla Mode right there. And I can confidently say that. So, and this is out of a company that started in a basement not that long ago, 3-4 years ago, keeping pallets in the garage, keeping boxes and shipping envelopes in the living room. One person from my family mailing out product, Derek, more plates, more dates, as customer service, answering every email. You know, obviously me, into this very day, me looking over everything. So I've been thinking about this, though. What I'm most proud of, and I gave this some thought over the past few days, what I'm most proud of is this. When you see this list here, especially this company at #1, and they're always #1, #2, #3 in any given period. Cellucor C4, right? C4 Sport. This product is everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. From the ratings here, 57,000 ratings. It is kind of the affordable pre-workout at just $19. You'll find it at Walmart. You can find it at Costco. You know, it passes their test for compliance and insurance since it's like a bare bones, affordable formula, poor man's formula. So it's everywhere. If you know this company, they got these energy drinks. This is everywhere too. That is a very nice banner here, the Skittles banner. But they are everywhere. Gas stations, convenience stores, pharmacies, grocery stores, obviously a considerable, huge online and retail presence. I mean, C4 is everywhere. And successful company, for sure. You know, and this got me thinking and looking into, going down the rabbit hole just a little bit, of who is this company? Who is Cellucor? Who is C4? So I started looking it up. This is interesting. So who owns C4? Well, as of the end of last year, at least part owner, 30%, is Dr. Pepper. Keurig Dr. Pepper. Keurig is those little coffee pods that are super popular. Dr. Pepper, obviously a, internationally known soda. And at the end of last year, according to this article right here, Keurig Dr. Pepper paid $863 million to acquire 30% of this C4 company. Their entity name is Nutribult. So that is the C4 energy drink. That is the C4 pre-workout, which is sitting at #1 on Amazon. It's also Extend, you know, the BCA brand. I recommended that on Good Looking Loser Lifestyle about 9 years ago. Definitely an awesome product. That's one I used. It was one of the best flavored BCAs at the time. But Keurig Dr. Pepper paid $863 million for 30% of this company. So doing a little math here, if 30% is 863 million, how much is 100%, right? By a valuation of 863 million for 30%, how much is 100% of the company? Bare minimum, 100% of the company would be 2.87 billion. And if you know anything about mergers and acquisitions, and I'm only very loosely familiar, if you buy 30% of a company, you're buying a minority stake, right? 30%, you'd be 30% owner. You only have 30% of the votes in the company. So you really don't have anything close to like majority voting rights in the company. So when you buy 30% or a minority share, you get what's called a minority discount. So this $863 million they paid for it, that is a discount. So I'm estimating that C4, Cellucor, Nutribult, whichever one you want to call it, is probably worth more like $3.5 to $4 billion, right? Without the minority discount, $3.5 to $4 billion. So your boy, and obviously Derek, of course, he's in charge of the most important things, marketing and product. I'm everything else. He's competing against this company that is probably worth like $4 billion. That is crazy to me. Crazy. Crazy to me because we were in a basement. Supplies were in my garage just 1,000 days ago, right? A little bit more than that. 1,300 days ago, 1,500 days ago. Maybe not 1,500 days ago, but let's just say a little bit more than 1,000 days ago. In my garage, in my living room, at a house that I rented. That's crazy, man. Like, that's crazy, man. And obviously, Dr. Pepper, Keurig Dr. Pepper. But there's a lot more to this company than just Dr. Pepper and Keurig. 7-Up, Crush, Sundrop, Canada Dry, Sunkissed, Hawaiian Punch, Snapple. Snapple used to be pretty big. Yoo-Hoo. That was always fun. One of the most underrated sodas ever. I'm looking at this for the first time right now. Royal Crown RC Soda. I thought they were independent. I guess Dr. Pepper is considered independent, but it's like, how independent are they on all these brands right here? I mean, they're not Coke or Pepsi necessarily, but they've got some killer stuff. Nantucket Nectars. That's more popular on the East Coast. IBC Root Beer. Couple more not all of these have I heard of, but yeah, most of these we all have heard of. Most of these we've all drank. This company here. And this isn't the page here, but I found something that it said their revenues are something like 11 or 12 billion dollars a year. So we're competing against a company that has nationwide distribution to Walmart, to Target, 7-Eleven, to Walgreens, to Kroger. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. And, what is the lesson in all this? The lesson in all this to me is it really goes to show you that if you intend to put out a product that is legitimate, really something that you would use, like your ideal product, in this case, a pre-workout. You put out a product that's legitimate. You find a way to tell people about it. You find a way to get it in their hands and provide support. You can overachieve big time, right? We are competing quite well, I must say, against a company that is worth $3-4 billion, right? Definitely big leagues here. In a basement just 3 years ago. 2 people doing their best, working the mandatory 80 to 100 hours a week with a small staff, some of them with my last name, right? Just 2 of them too. It wasn't like Gorilla Mind, that's the company's name, Gorilla Mode's the pre-workout. It wasn't like we had 10 or 20 investors to start. 10 or 20 investors bringing in $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million each with their connections, with their experience, with their teams of executives who have been in the industry for years. 2 people working on outdated laptops. No industry seasoned executives. 2 people with a staff of about 2 people for a long time that would just grind and learn on the fly, making mistakes, but committing to figuring out as they go. No warehouse up until last year. That is what I'm most proud of, the grit. Following instincts, going down the rabbit hole, willing to put so much time and so much effort into something until it's figured out, leaning into it, and keeping that motherfucker in motion. That's what it is. And honestly, if you're following your instincts and acting on that, right? You're following your instincts, you're going down the rabbit hole, you're keeping it in motion, you're putting in the time. You're just doing that, and you're keeping it in motion, and you're willing to put in the amount of time, whatever that amount may be, until it's figured out, even though there's not a finish line, but until you get going. That is more than like 90-95% of people are doing. Majority of people are not following their instincts, they're not going down the rabbit holes, and they're not willing to sacrifice their time. That's what I'm most proud of. The grit that put us right here. That is grit like you would not believe, right? Moral of the story. Moral of the story. 3 years ago, this product was not on Amazon. Now it is sitting 3rd in the world. The formula is good enough to be number 1. And, we'll see how it goes, but probably should be the case. So, wrap up the video there. Quite a milestone for Gorilla Mind, Gorilla Mode, according to Jeff Bezos, number 3 in the world. Now, most of you guys have heard of Gorilla Mind. Maybe not everyone knew I was, one of the people behind it. You guys have obviously heard of Happy Hippo, if you're familiar with the GLL channel. There's a third business, Intelligent Shop, intelligent.shop. And looking at the analytics of this little channel since I've returned, the most clicks have gone to Intelligent Shop. So I think that's like the really the new one to you guys. And a lot of lessons learned along the way creating those 3 businesses, good and bad, right? So on this channel, I'm trying to figure out how I got there, reverse engineering the past 7 years of my life, doing my very best while still being active in all 3 businesses to explain it to you guys so you guys can do it in half the time. Catch you soon.